to your name, a little icon that says mute. If you click on that, you can take the call, and I won't hear anything, and neither will anybody else, and that way you can do what you need to do with him.
Okay.
Your name, a little icon. Hey guys, we're still doing a little bit of tech support. Thank you for joining us on the stream here. Michael is taking a step away from this, and he's been kind enough to let me handle all this. I've got Chris Krahn with the Span Strike back here with me right now. We're trying to we're trying to do some tech support to get Kevin back in here. There was a little bit of a fudging when trying to drag him into the room. So what we're going to be doing during this stream is the people who have pre-ordered the Bantha. If you have your order number ready or your name, you're going to need to click on the server invite link that is in the description. And then you're going to need to make sure you follow the rules here. We cannot have any threats or insults here. You have to keep this civil. I know that there's a lot of tension running high here, a lot of emotion, a lot of monetary investment. But that just makes sure everybody's able to keep a level head and ask the proper questions. Then you have to make sure you have your order number or given name. Sometimes people lose their order numbers or they delete the email by accident. But this makes sure that the individual that we're about to bring in has in fact ordered a Bantha, so we don't have to get people in here that are acting in bad faith or people who just want to cause a ruckus, because apparently that is a concern. Okay. That's a good thing, Chris. So we'll wait in that. And of course, the third rule is we don't want to keep treading over the same ground over and over again, so just keep an eye out and your ears open for the answers to specific questions. Now, you may not like the answer to those questions. That's another matter altogether. But let's try not to tread over the same ground over and over and over and over again. That way this stream runs smoothly and there's not any issues. And just so you all are aware, my friend Sarah's server is the one hosting this. Please give her a thank you, because she's also helping with the moderation here. Once we're done here, we'll remove you all from the server, simply because it's not a nice place to be. And, yeah, I don't want anybody to wind up getting wrecked because they stay too long and have too many senior moments like I tend to. And I just lost Chris. The joys of technology. So I guess we'll wait for him to get back. And as you noticed, the super chats are currently turned off. That is intentional. That is on purpose. Come on here. So, yeah. Well, actually, it should be. Guess it's not. Oh, well. We're doing it live! Elk kills. The order number needs to be posted in the server. You have to come into the server to do this. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to have you on.
Yikes! Did he die?
Yeah, he died, and he's trying to help Kevin figure this out.
Ah, crap. That's not good. Well, you see, this always goes well. This always goes well. I see. This is not being like. Sorry, chat. You're gonna have to give it a moment for the one guy to come back. I guess. I don't know. Let's see here. Wait, what?
Hold on, what's going on here?
I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't see him. When we say died, we're talking about like he got disconnected from the call.
Yeah, he disconnected from the call.
I'm not sure why Chris is in the chat talking about Smith. He didn't show up to my knowledge. Let me check my messenger.
Jeesh. Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't, I hope this just doesn't bomb with the... with them not being able to work with this.
They should be able to. I mean, he was able to hop in a moment ago, but we are live, just so you're aware.
Oh, no, I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
Here,
watching. I'm watching the chat right now.
I'm gonna disconnect Kevin from new guys, and hopefully, if he just hops back in, it should be a problem.
Okay. Probably ended it on purpose.
Nah, let's go ahead and avoid that. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, let's. I'm not sure about that one. We just gotta wait. It's gotta wait, I guess.
He is asking for someone to talk. What? Hold on.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I believe he disconnected for technical reasons.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, a lot of these people use Facebook Messenger, and it takes me a minute to type.
Okay. I mean, I hope he disconnected for technical reasons. Yeah, I don't think it'd be very good for this to die on us at the last second. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, that'd be weird too, because like we've been gearing towards this all week, trying to make sure everything was in place. But no, we do appreciate the patience. Just getting people that are even 10 years my senior to use Discord can be a little difficult. We actually
had a bit of a pain.
Yeah, we had things going pretty well, and then it just dropped on us for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, that is like the same person right in the chat. Like Chris Smith has no place in this conversation.
Yeah, that's Chris Krahn of the Fan Strike Back. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Oh boy. Please continue on. Your call will be answered in the order it was received.
Essentially.
Gosh darn it, Melinda. Hey man, I'm just sitting here enjoying some good green Jello.
Okay, hold on. Let me hop into new guys and try to figure this out.
Plugged up to be a part of it.
There you are, Kevin.
Yes.
All right, let me go ahead and pull you back into the room. Let's see here. Okay, Kevin's finally working here, so Krahn should be able to hop on now, and we can finally get this rolling. All right, Kevin, can you still hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can finally hear you. So now we just need to
that's my bad. My bad. When we figured out we wasn't on video, I started putting all my equipment away, and I unplugged my camera. Well, obviously, I have to have my camera plugged up so everybody can hear me.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay.
All right. Now we're just waiting. We're just waiting for Mr. Krahn back in.
One simple thing away.
Right. All right, Sarah. I think we can handle it from here. Appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
Let me just waiting for him to come in.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye. Who this? Debayashi. Okay, now we're just waiting for Chris to hop on again. There he is. Move to streamer. All right, can you hear us, Chris?
Yes.
All right, we finally have things going. Oh my God. Okay, so now that we finally have everything up and running, we have one person here that you verified the order numbers from. You want to go ahead and pull him in real quick?
I think we're gonna read our quick statement here.
Sure.
About ground rules first, and then we'll get into it.
All right. Yours or the one I have on screen?
Just a quick statement from me and Kevin.
Go for it.
All right. Everybody can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, and so can the stream.
Okay. Hey everybody. We want to welcome everyone to this event, which is a special Q&A for Bantha customers. This is Chris from the Fan Strike Back, and I'm joined by Kevin Sexton, the Bantha sculptor and lead for the project. We want to thank LioConvoy and Retroblasting for hosting and broadcasting the event. We just want to make a couple quick statements here, and that is that we stand behind our Bantha 100%. We're here today in good faith to answer all questions from customers, and we invite everyone, Bantha buyers and non-Bantha buyers, to view the new backthebantha.com website. We just updated that earlier this evening with a bunch of new information and videos and stuff like that. You guys are welcome to stop by and take a look. And as always, we can be contacted via the website, by email or phone. And project status updates on all of our projects can be found in the status section of the Fan Strike Back website. We also want to make a couple quick notes here that the Bantha is factory made. That's 100% confirmed. There were no changes that were made to Kevin's original sculpt in the Bantha design. But if anybody wants to ask any questions about that, more than welcome, or we're more than happy to answer them for everybody. And we're going to keep this Bantha focused. It's not going to be really about any other products or the 13 or anything like that. Kevin didn't work on the 13. The 13 is from a different factory. Really don't have anything to do with the topic at hand. So that's all we'll say. We'll just hope that everybody keeps it civil and related. And with that, we'll open it up to everybody.
My real quick question is, I know you don't want a whole bunch of questions about the 13, but you might at least give a general statement about its current place in production, because that seems to be a lot of questions being asked. Like, what is the current ETA between like now and its release?
Well, what we've posted on the group and on the website is kind of where we are in a timeline of these are the figures that we have, these are the figures that are coming next, and then based on that, these, and these until we're done. We unfortunately can't set a hard date because we're at the mercy of a factory that is working as fast as they possibly can. We're not their biggest customer. We're actually probably one of their smallest. We don't have priority, and they're dealing with a lot of labor shortages and stuff like that. So we can't put a hard date on it. We can just tell people and show people that, hey, we have this one coming in. Now here's the pictures of that. These two are coming next. These are the pictures on that. But we will ship them as soon as they're ready.
All right. Well, just keep communication open, and we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely.
Real quick to the chat. Guys, you have to go into the description and click on the Discord server link after you make a Discord account to get in here. Posting your user ID, your order number, your real name, your PayPal address into the live chat is not going to help anybody, and it just makes it easy to like steal stuff from you. Don't do that. Just follow the directions in the description. I know it's a bit of an irritation because most of you are older than me, but you got to be able to do that. We're all adults, should be able to handle it. So, with that all said, do you mind me bringing the first guy in?
Sure.
All right, let's see if we can get him to unmute too, because he's muted currently. All right, Mr. Steven, you're going to have to go next to your username at the bottom left-hand corner and unmute yourself before we can go forward talking to you. Or not. Doggone it. Ah, there he is. He finally unmuted. Let's try this again. Mr. Steven, can you hear us? This is getting irritating.
Who are we missing?
Mr. Steven is the guy who posted his order number, the first guy who came in.
Oh.
Mr. Steven, can you hear us? That guy just keeps going back.
Do we want to go to the next person?
Hold on. I want to try to get this guy in one moment here. Let me hop in the other room real quick and see what's going on. I'll be right back.
Not on by default. I understand why.
Mr. Steven, can you not hear us?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I kept dragging you to that room and it kept kicking you back up here. Were you doing that?
No, I think the internet's messing up on this end.
All right, so
I'm in a rural area.
Here, I got this. I'll just give him a roll where you can join.
All right, just give me a second. All right, I'm about to bring him back in and see what we can do here. Because he can apparently talk in the other chat, but he keeps being kicked back to the other one for some reason. So let me try this one more time. All right, can you hear us, Mr. Steven? Those are getting old. Apparently he's in a rural area.
Okay.
So, here, let's just try it like this. One moment. I'll be right back.
Sorry, it's the internet here at this location.
Yeah, it really shouldn't change what's going on in the room. So why don't you just go ahead and ask me, what is the question you have about your Bantha order?
Who, me?
Well, yes, you.
Okay, my concern is that the rules or the website has changed numerous times since the purchase of these items in 2019 and 2020.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring them in here for the moment. Hopefully we can get the stream thing to really work, because these are rules. These are things only they can really answer, so...
yeah.
Let me see if I can... All right, Lasso Tool, work for once in your worthless life. One moment. I'll let you guys hang here for just a second. I'll be right back. Hey, Mr. Kevin, just real quick, I've dragged Chris to another room because the other guy's audio is not working in this one, and it's a site-related question, so we'll be right back. Can you hang tight?
Sir.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So now that we can hear each other, why don't you go ahead and ask Chris the question, please?
Okay, my first question and my concern is the ever-changing comments on the website of being a pre-order to now it's listed as a crowdfunding, and the statements that are on the crowdfunding statements, as y'all know, I mean, it implies that the money can just be taken and no items are given and there's no refunds. And there's probably a lot of people out there that are kind of scared that money is being taken and they will receive nothing. And I mean, it's a valid concern. I mean, it's a lot to a lot of people. It may not be a lot of money, but to some it is. Is your stance to fill all the orders that are placed for the Bantha and the 13?
Yes, absolutely. We have never said that someone was going to place an order for something and get no products. And looking here at the order history, it looks like your Bantha was delivered yesterday. Is that correct?
Correct. What is today?
Today's a
Saturday. It was delivered, I think, on Friday or Thursday or Friday. Yes.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think of it?
Well, it's kind of disheartening because you purchase when I originally purchased it, I was thinking it was going to be based on the wording. It would be more like the Kenner line of figures and not a poured resin. Did I just lose you? Oh, it's a poured resin. It's not an injected molded item. And like the one that Michael has showed on his video, in my display cabinet, just walking across the floor, it will fall forward and lean forward. So whoever's out there making Lexan standees is going to be able to sell them to people that's going to keep them from wanting them to nosedive into the display case floor to keep from busting the pour mold.
Okay, well, that actually is not true. The Bantha stands on its own. Anyone can go right now to backthebantha.com and see a shock test of that, of a customer trying to get it to tip over, and it does not. Anything will fall over if you push it hard enough. But the Bantha does not fall on its face. It stands on its own 2 feet, and it stands up even whenever there's shock around it.
Yeah, it does. It stands on the back 2 feet and leans forward on the front 2.
Have you taken a look at the shock video?
No, but took a look at the one that was delivered on Thursday or Friday. That
Okay.
is in my display cabinet as we speak.
Okay, and like I said, the Bantha stands on its own, and like I said, it does even under rigorous testing. And to further address your point, the Bantha is the exact same Bantha that appeared on the retroblasting video. It is still sculpted in the vintage style that Kevin created. We had to change the tail because it was too long to fit the mold. But other than that, there was no material changes to it at all. So it's not a Power of the Force 2 style Bantha with hair. It is a vintage style. There was no Kenner prototype to go off of. A lot of people thought that there was, but that was a fan made item. But this was sculpted. This was not designed on a computer. Another thing that Kenner did not do is they did not design any products on computers. This was hand sculpted in the vintage style the exact same way. And I'll kick it over to Kevin if you have any more questions on the sculpting aspect of it.
Real quick, are you telling this customer that their copy of the Bantha does not, in fact, lean to one specific side?
I can't verify that. What I can say is based on another customer doing a shock test that the Bantha does not fall over.
And Mr. Steven, you're saying that yours leans to one specific direction, forward facing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in that case, if he's not happy, we can replace it with another Bantha.
Well, it took since 2019 to get this Bantha, so I would kind of like to hold on it since I have $208 sunk into it at this point in time, not alone the 13 that I have been also on pre-order.
Okay. Well, the Bantha was not funded in 2019, and it did not go into production until August of last year, and then finished molding and started issuing in December. So that's 4 months.
I know I purchased it in 2019.
Right, at a period whenever it was not yet funded, just like any other Kickstarter or comparable projects. We have known Kickstarter toy projects that are smaller than this, that there were customers that have waited 3 to 5 years.
Speaking of which, concerning refunds, we have people in the chat just in general asking about your refund policy. So what is your refund policy exactly on the Bantha and whatnot? Because I know that's a big question here, and I think it deserves a larger scale answer since we have a larger audience currently.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that applies to the Bantha and the 13, and that issuing full refunds for any unsatisfied Bantha customers would be ideal, but it is just not possible. And that is not possible because Bantha production money has been allocated to the factories for product production. The huge upfront costs are what made projects like this be crowdfunded in nature from the very, very beginning. And the factory production costs, even of one figure, is so high, and dealing with minimum order quantities, that you have to pay for this stuff up front. Factories do not give money back. This is crowdfunded in nature, just like anything else. When you purchase something on Kickstarter or you back a project on Kickstarter, once that project meets its funding goal, it's non-refundable because it is assumed then that that money is paid to the factory and production begins. That way, refunds are not possible for stuff like that. What we have done for the Bantha is we have offered any unsatisfied customers that in place of that would like product compensation. That's perfectly fine, dollar for dollar. If you want to pick figures or coins or weapons or something from our website, we'd be more than happy to issue.
What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Steven?
I personally don't want to have none more of his action figures except for the 13 that I will not get refunded my money for on my display case or in my display cases. I mean, at some point in time, after you ask so many times for updates or ask for your money back, and you get blocked from websites, and you get blocked from Facebook accounts and all because you're trolling. I mean, that sends kind of a bad feeling to other people. I mean, it's like, I don't want to have to deal with him. I don't want to have to deal with his questions. I don't want to have to deal with nothing. And I'm blocking you, and you can't communicate with me no more. It just rubs you wrong.
Okay, well, the Facebook group that you're talking about, everything on there is mirrored on the website. So even if we were to shut that Facebook group down, you would still have just as much access as you would through the very website that you purchased these products from. You can email, you can phone, you can use the phone number, and all the status updates are in the status section. So we're not having anything in that group that is exclusive to that group. And we've always stated from the very beginning that anytime that anything breaches into harassment or anything of our associates or other members, purchasing a product does not guarantee group membership. But you're not excluded from anything related to your purchase because you still have access to the website and all of those contact options.
I understand that, but when you ask a simple question of, hey, what's the story? What's going on? Can I get a refund? You're blocked. You're trolling me.
That's not the reason why you were blocked.
I mean, I asked you the other day for a refund because I weren't satisfied, and your reply was, everything that you are saying will be sent to law enforcement.
Well, when you start making
I weren't
against someone,
I just told you, I weren't happy, and refund. Your refund policy is buy something else from me.
One moment, please. Okay, if you think things I need to address here real quick, and then we'll get back into this. For those of you in the chat wondering if this is some sort of skit, no. I am a neutral party in this. And what I mean by neutral party, as in I am here to officiate a conversation between customers and a producer of a product. I am not a Star Wars fan. I did not buy this thing. I have no marketed interest in this thing, but I have an interest in making sure people get answers that they want. I have defended Krahn in the past due to anti-reproduction people attacking him. That's why I feel a level of obligation doing all this. Now, to go back to this conversation that is currently getting heated, which is why I asked for a pause for a moment. Chris, did this man threaten you?
I don't have the conversation pulled up in front of me.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm not going to speculate beyond that.
Mr. Stevens, do you have the conversation available?
Hold on. Please follow up on the pre-order blah, 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 and pre-order blah, blah. Let me know when these orders will be filled. The Bantha will be shipped in the next few days. As orders are being filled, you will receive an email tracking the 13 is not finished yet, but the shipping will immediately be shipped upon completion. I wrote back on Sunday, March 27th. I prefer to have a full refund due to items plus tax due to your inability to deliver your promises made in 2019 from your pre-orders. I told him it weren't accept. He said, no, this has never been pre-orders. They all crowd-funded projects and no refunds. I said, this is not acceptable. You need to sell your house to have, I did use a curse word. You need to sell your blank house if you have to. I'm not the only one with a lawyer or contacted the Attorney General or the SBI. I want a refund. You said you would on a text from August 6, 2021 for both items pre-ordered. We are now blocking you. We are now blocking you and turning any further communications over to the law. I said, go ahead and do this. You can't hide from it. You have my cell number. Call the law. I would love for you to remember. Oh, okay. I said, I would love for you to. And then I made a remark. Remember, get your house in order. And I haven't heard nothing else from him.
Okay.
So I don't feel like I was threatening him.
So cursing and making threats are the reason why you were blocked.
How did I make a threat? And I'm just asking, how did I make a threat to you?
You threatened me with a wire fraud case and to turn me over to the Attorney General of Pennsylvania.
Did I threaten with it? All I said was I am not the only one that has contacted the lawyers or attorney generals or the SBI. I didn't threaten you with it. I said I'm not the only one that has.
Right, but then you claimed I was committing wire fraud and swore at me.
Okay, real quick. Mr. Steven, did you call an attorney general or the FBI over this?
No, I didn't say FBI. SBI.
SBI. I don't even know what that is.
Contacted them.
I don't even know what that is.
State Bureau of Investigation, the SBI.
I see. Okay. Honestly, I'd never heard of them, but that's on me, I suppose. So, okay. What response did they give you about any of this?
I would right now at this particular moment not want to divulge that information at this point in time.
Understood. So, do you see why Chris may have reacted negatively to that statement?
No, because it's not everyone is upset at this point in time. And I'm not the only one that has contacted lawyers. And that's what I state. I'm not the only one that has contacted a lawyer or the SBI or the Attorney General.
Okay. And the fact of the matter is my response was very consistent with what it is now, which is that the refund policy is not possible because of what it was, that you were still going to get your product, which you did. So, and I was very cordial through the whole thing. So beyond that, you don't have any right to threaten me or say any of that stuff. And I have just as much right as a business owner to block you, but still give you your product. And that's what we did.
Yes, but it's not the product that was initially sold to me. If you go buy and
yes, it was, and that's been confirmed.
Okay, one moment.
Do you remember our conversation, Chris, back in March of last year?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I mean, you had a discussion about you needing to come forth and tell all the customers what's going on because of all the money and the updates and the lag time in the Bantha.
Okay, you mean you were saying that I should go ahead and update people when I was going ahead and updating people? Where's the lie here? Where's the crime? Where's the conspiracy? Chris, you should update people. Yeah, I'm updating people. Anything else?
So all the 100% of the money that was, in your terms, received for the Bantha were allocated towards the Bantha. None of the funds were allocated to other items or other pet peeves that you wanted to see put into production.
No, I did not purchase a multi-million-dollar house. No.
I mean, you said nothing about that.
And the Bantha and the 13 are independent of each other. So we're not taking one to fund the other. It's not a shell game.
Okay, that's essentially what he was asking.
What we're saying is that the money that was paid in good faith was also turned over to the factory for production in good faith. We can know that for a fact because you have the Bantha in front of you. The updates that you asked for, we provided. I'm not really sure what else you want from us at this time.
Well, when the 13 gets produced, are they going to be poured resin?
No. First of all, we already have parts of the 13 out. The troop packs are out. The Thrawn is out. The Biggs and Wedge are on the way. None of these are resin poured. These are, and we stated that factory has not changed. We also stated that the Bantha factory did. So this Bantha project is completely independent of the 13. We've said that in every way possible. We've said it on the website, and the products that we've already issued prove that.
Okay.
And again, I don't think there's anything
And if I
more
would
to
have
talk about here.
initially learned that I was going to get a poured resin figure or bantha, I would have gone to Etsy and got a.
So like people are already getting their starting to ship them out.
Hold on. One person at a time. Firstly, also, I feel like we're doing Kevin a bit of disservice because now we're talking about the actual production of the bantha. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Kevin in here, and Mr. Steven, you can ask him questions if you need to. But right after that, we're going to have to move on to somebody else. But I'm going to need order numbers.
I understand.
From who just spoke here a moment ago. D. Ralter, I'm going to need you to produce order numbers in the Spawn chat so we can verify who you are.
Okay, I thought I did. I can go back and do that again.
Yeah, I'll have to double check, but all right. So, Kevin, Mr. Steven here has questions about the bantha in terms of its production and everything going forward there. So, go ahead and ask your questions, Mr. Steven. We got the bantha physical creator here with us right now.
Well, all I was going to say is if I would have known I was going to be purchasing a resin poured item, I would have rather saved my money and went to Etsy and purchased someone that's printing them on a 3D printer instead of spending $200 for a resin poured figure.
Okay, all right.
I mean, that's what
okay.
I feel like.
Well,
I'd be happy to answer that.
Yeah, especially being that resin is a plastic. But yeah, let's kick this over to Kevin.
Okay, just concerning what you just said, sir, I can happily answer that. If you would have chose to go with a 3D printed, you would have paid probably nearly twice as much and got a crappy product with lines all the way in it. So, simple as that. You got a better quality product. And the bantha that you got is as close to my original as we could possibly get.
In 2019,
for whatever reason, and this
blow-molded figure.
I mean, so what we gave you versus you're obviously thinking that a 3D print is better. You're sadly mistaken.
I'm saying in 2019, it was advertised as a Kenner style blow-molded figure.
We never stated.
I was comparing this as it's a good item.
One moment.
Which would you rather have, a Corvette or a Chevette?
One moment, if I may. Kevin,
Sir.
did you state before this thing went into production that this would be made of resin? I just want a yes or no.
Did I say that one more time?
Did you state? It's all right. Did you state before this item went into production to the greater public that bought it, whether it be in an email, in a video, in a text post, that this was going to be made of resin? I just want a simple yes or no.
No, I've not made any statements on anything to the public about anything. I've stayed in the behind the scenes the whole time.
Okay, Mr.
Till today.
Mr.
Talking
Krahn.
about
Hold on, please. We'll get to this, just please. Mr. Krahn, the question I just asked him, I'm going to redirect to you. Did you make a post, a video, an email that this product would be made in resin?
No, because it wasn't even funded in the time that he's talking about, let alone in production. And Kevin had not yet taken over the bantha as the project manager and made the decision to do that as a long-term improvement to the bantha. So no, and we also did not state on our website anything guaranteeing the type of plastic that was going to be used. We said that it was going to be created and sculpted in the vintage style, which it was, and all of those details never changed. What we did promise was a saddle, and you got a saddle. What we did promise was articulated limbs, and you got articulated limbs.
And a thumbtack, a bent thumbtack.
That's a Kevin question. If you would like him to address why that
In a
change
moment.
was made, it was actually just like anything else. It was made in an effort to strengthen an area of the product that we were finding during our testing needed to be improved. And if Kevin would like to expand further on that, he's welcome to.
We will do that in one moment. Mr. Steven,
Uh-huh.
when you backed this, what did you believe you were going to get in terms of production
A
quality?
Kenner style figure. A Kenner style figure. They are not a Kenner style. You are not a Star Wars fan. You'd said it. Or been into the tour.
Well, hold on.
The
Excuse me?
moderator. The moderator.
Okay.
I am
The
not.
moderator.
You're right. I am
Okay.
not. I am not. Sorry. We just got to make sure that's clear because we don't want random
Yeah.
things being said. You're right. I am not a
Yeah.
Star Wars fan. I do know what Kenner quality is though, because I had the first wave of Beast Wars stuff. They were done by the Kenner team, so I know what that
Yeah.
means. But
So that type of plastic is not resin.
all right. So that's where this disconnect is coming from, and holy crap, the guy should not have given that much information. D. Ralter, I'm going to ask you to not delete, but I need you to edit your post. We do not need to know your PayPal info, my dude. But let's see here. We need the order number, not from PayPal, but from the actual Fan Strike Back email you got as order confirmation. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so this gentleman now wants to know why the thumbtack or the pin from I can't even remember what it's from, but the thing that holds the Bantha's thing together. Why was that choice made?
By the time I took over, we've been into a year after being produced. The factories raised the price. The heat was on to get the product out. So when we did find a factory, I started getting test shots on various parts of the Bantha. And the biggest concern with everybody was because the first round of saddles that I got were they was extremely stiff. And I was like working with the factories, this is not going to work. We cannot have a non-flexible saddle. The saddle had to be sturdy, but not stiff. It had to be able, if you wanted to kind of bend it with your hands, it needed to flex, but not snap. But it didn't need to be there. In the second round of prototypes that I got, it was flimsy. I would say pushing toward the direction of a rubber band. It was very snappy. When you pulled it, it had a very high elasticity, which neither one of those was the little on the bottom of the original button. The tab was not, it was going into the hole, but it would not stay. And I got 3 more samples after that. And every time I'm asking samples, I'm waiting for them to fix something, make a change, then mail it to me to get it in my hands so I can give you guys the best quality. And it was just not coming through. So then I took upon myself to come up with a solution. And that's what happened. The same issue with the tail. I'm the one that came up with the solution, not the factory. The factory couldn't come up with the solution. So I actually came up with the solution. So therefore, I thought, what looks and feels like a Tuscan Raider? And when I seen those tacks, boom, I put it on it. I tried it. I liked the way it looked. If no one else likes it, that's your personal opinion. But this is my Bantha. I chose that because I like the way that looks. So then, therefore, I approved it. If anybody don't like any design choice that I put on this, fine. I've been an artist for nearly 45 years. I make stuff. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people don't give a crap. That's just the nature of the game. There's no way any artist can design anything and make everyone happy. So and so that's why, sir.
I have a question, a follow-up one, if that's okay. Why go with the tack instead of like a tension hold like you see on a belt buckle, or even a little metal snap that you would use for like a bag or something that snaps in and out?
I didn't like the look of the I guess you call a loop through. I didn't like the look of that. And once again, this is a personal choice. And the snap button would probably got a worse reaction than this hook, or the same. So that's why that did come across my mind to use that. And honestly, if I would have went with the snap button, we'd be talking about this about the snap button instead of the hook.
Okay. I just wanted to
So,
know because I was curious about that myself.
Huh?
I was curious about that myself because I've seen pictures. Obviously, don't have
No,
one.
all three of those were considered. And when I set it up on my shelf and I looked at it, that's the one I personally like. I thought that looked more, had a better Tuscan Raider feel. And I knew it would last longer. It's brass. It would last longer. It's not going to, the rubber's not going to decompose and wear out. The brass will hold. So
Okay.
quality wise, I went to the one I thought was going to last a longer amount of time.
Okay. Thank you for that information, Mr. Steven. Thank you for coming on and asking questions. We got to move on to somebody else now, if that's okay. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect you, and you have a good night. Once I figure out how to do this, there we go. Okay, I apologize to user D Ralther simply because it's hard to verify through PayPal information. That's why we wanted order number. He says he's going to email you, Chris, so hopefully he'll get that out to you. Next up, we have, well, I guess Carlos isn't in the chat. Fantastic. Carlos Perone, if you are listening to this audio right now, what we need you to do is look on the left-hand side of your screen, click on New Guys, and we'll just have to do it like this because the stream room isn't working, and we'll figure out from there. But for now, we have Mr. Gray, who I server muted simply because he has a lot of background noise, so I'm going to unmute you in a moment. Chris, oh, well, never mind. Carlos is here. He's just in the Steam rating room. One moment. Let me drag him in. Carlos, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
All right. So, Chris, can I get you to confirm his order number, please? Figure out from there. But for now,
Sure. What is your order number?
732.
And real quick, Carlos, I need you to pause or mute the stream that's going on in the background right now where you are.
Okay, I will do that. Done.
Thank you. That way we don't have any echoing.
Got it.
And just because I have multiple Perones, what city and state are you?
Oxford, Florida.
Okay, looks good.
Okay, hold on. All right, so go ahead and ask your question, Mr. Perone.
Just wondering about delivery. My number is 732. Just to know if there's an estimate on when I should be seeing my product.
Yes, actually, based on when you ordered, yours should be in the next batch, and Kevin should be getting that next batch from the factory in the next couple days. So your Bantha is going to be in your hands pretty soon.
Great, thank you so much.
Anything else?
Anytime.
Man? Anything else?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
Oh, that's it. I'm good.
We'll go ahead and kick you then. Thank you very much for your time. So,
Thanks for calling in.
All right, so we're going to have Mr. Gray, who I said I was going to unmute in a moment here. Real quick, let's first confirm his number. It's 01516.
Repeat that again, Thomas.
01516.
Not a Bantha customer.
Okay, then unfortunately we're going to go ahead and ask you to just email Mr. Krahn when you get the chance, because we're primarily doing Bantha right now for the obvious reason. So you have a good night, Mr. Gray. Sorry to remove you like this, but we got to keep moving. All right, so next up we have Petworm. His order number is 02585.
02585.
Yes.
I have David in Dallas, Texas.
All right. Wait, who tagged me? Oh. Well, let me check here. Somebody's trying to... Okay, I don't know who that is, but give me a second here. So I'm going to unmute it. Or Petworm, can you hear us? Wow, it's going to be really awkward if he can't hear or talk to us.
Earlier, his mic wasn't working.
Oh, fantastic. That's just great. All right, so Darth Gold Dust, what is your order number?
Order number?
Yes.
Oh, like for the Bantha?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was for anyone. My bad. I apologize.
No problem.
I wasted your time.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and remove you. Thank you. Oh, boy. All right, so I guess we'll see if anybody else ordered a Bantha and you have questions for Mr. Krahn or Mr. Sexton, please click on the Discord server link after making an account. And then we will get you in, we will verify your order number, and we'll get you on there.
Well, we did have the one who was 2585. That he was a Bantha customer.
Which one was that? Let me see. Oh, we're talking about Pet Worm. He can't seem to get his mic working. Apparently he's been here this whole time without his mic working. Come on, work here. One person, by the way, in the YouTube chat wants to know if it's too late to get one.
No. Because we have customers that are choosing the option of replacement, that means that there will be Banthas freed up. So the people, because originally it was sold out. We had a set production run, and we were only going to do so many. But as people continue to do that, we'll free up Banthas, so we will have ones that will be available for other people.
Okay, and then we have somebody named Michael B in the chat just asking if anybody has gotten a boxed Bantha from you yet.
No, the boxed Banthas, though, are going to be shipping very shortly. We had to pretty much start over with the box. The prototype that we got did not fit the final Bantha. And instead of go ahead and try and do that first and potentially have hundreds of boxes that we can't use, we had to wait to actually get the box sample, match it up with the final Bantha product, make sure that it fit. It didn't. So we had to extend it, go back to the factory, have them redo it. They have now completed that and shipped it. We are waiting for those boxed items to clear customs, and as soon as they arrive, we'll be starting to ship boxed versions.
Okay. I have a real quick question about that, if that's not, off pool here. Why is the box so expensive specifically? Because I know there's apparently a price difference between an in-box and an out-of-box one.
It's $50 more for the box version. Basically that's in line. If you go and you look on eBay or you look anywhere else at custom-made reproduction boxes, they're generally, actually some of them, depending on the playset. When you get up into the bigger ones, the Millennium Falcon, the Ewok Village, stuff like that, those can be upwards of $100 just for a reproduction box. But ours is in that 40 to 50 range, and our boxed version not only comes with the box, but it comes with the Kenner catalog that we made up, the insert, and the moisture evaporator. And that's only a $50 difference from the loose version.
Okay. Whoa, what the heck?
I'm sorry?
Oh, Pet Worm, are you there? Holy crap, we can barely hear you. Can you talk again?
What the
heck?
And basically, that's in line. If you go and you look on eBay or you look anywhere else at custom-made reproduction boxes, they're
It's a stream playback.
Yeah.
depending on the playset. When you get up into
Pet Worm, you're gonna have to get closer to your mic. We can barely hear you, man.
And you're also going to pause that stream.
Freaking pause the Pet Worm. Pause the stream. Doggone it.
Oh my god.
I guess we'll just have
Pet Worm, for the love of God, stop this.
No, Grim.
Hang on. Maybe he just can't.
Sorry, that was Grim. He's just irritated with the new guy. It's not about this actual situation.
Let me try it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You need to mute the stream so we can talk to you.
All right. Hello?
There you go. All right. So, now that you have the order number, what question do you have about the Bantha? You still need to mute the stream. You need to
Yeah,
mute the stream completely to where you can't hear it
Either
at all.
mute or pause it.
We're gonna have to get closer to your bike. We can barely hear.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
My brain.
Pet Warren, you need to mute the stream. There we go.
Okay, I'm having some lag issues on my side. I think I got it working now. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Just a simple question. I'm just wondering when.
Patworm, just put your headset on, man. Are you listening to the stream to hear us talk and then responding that way?
This is beautiful.
And then he muted himself. We'll just let him chat. I'm sorry about this, Chris. He'll just have to type it out. I'm sorry. I know you want the one-on-one talk, but I don't think he'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Let me go back and make sure people are being... Let's see here. And then we'll go to some civil questions in the chat because we are working overtime trying to remove things that are not civil. Hold on.
Shocker.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can just get him to type it out. We'd love to move on to the next guy, chat, but we don't have one. We need people. We need more people who have bought it, who have questions to actually get in here. We can't just magically probe your minds. Okay, so we'll just wait for... We'll just continue on until he figures it out. Yeah. Clearly, you aren't getting... No, I disagree, Sarah. I think they've actually answered quite a few questions here, to be completely honest with you. I have no idea who Paul Giamatti is, so I don't know if I sound like him or not.
That's the guy that was pig vomit in the Howard Stern movie, and he's been in a ton of things.
I have never seen a Howard Stern anything.
You know, well, he's been in so much stuff. Sideways, the wine movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I primarily stick to animation.
Well, that would explain it.
We have somebody asking about the name of the factory in Chicago, but I think that's confidential, so we're going to have to unfortunately not answer that one. Shardamus.
And I like this to say, if we've had cordial comments and non-trolling going on over the last year or so, I would love to be able to say it, but out of respect for the factory, that's the only reason we're not doing it, because it's bad enough that me and Chris deal with it. I mean, we're not going to have someone else, go troll him in their company as well. That's just rude and unprofessional.
Yeah, and the comments continue with wanting to know the names of the factory in Chicago, and if those going to continue, then that's going to be the end of the call.
No, that was just one person I saw asking. I'm trying my best to moderate three different things.
There's a lot.
I've seen a handful already. And like I said, guys, and I'm not being ugly about that. It's just, if we told you the name, then all these trolls would be hassling him, and that is just unprofessional. I mean, troll me all day long. I sit back here in my office and laugh at you people. Someone other business, and they're trying to take care of their business, and you're treating them that way. You wonder why you don't get information. That's as simple as I'm going to put it.
Well, frankly, I mean, nobody really asks about anything concerning, Mattel's service or anything like that, and I don't think the factory has anything to do so much with the event here. So, I think it's best to leave the factory out of this. So let's see here.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, we're at the point too that if Chris Smith is going to remain in the comments, he wants to answer stuff for us, then he can do that, and we'll leave stuff to him because we're not getting into a back and forth with him, and who controls what narrative. So
I don't blame you for not doing that. We're literally dealing with them as quickly as we can when they come. There's about 3 of us on this right now, so we're trying to make sure everything stays civil. I don't want this to spiral into an insult thing. That's why I very rarely choose comments from that, because I was thinking more people would show up and actually have legitimate questions. And in fairness, we've gotten a few people that have, with the third one, technical issues. But Petworm does have a question now. He says his question, when just approximately anticipate all pre-orders of the Bantha being filled, box and non-box. He's essentially asking, when do you think the orders are going to be filled?
Well, without revealing how many numbers that we are doing in the run, which we've never really done, we have a commitment from the factory to deliver between 10 and 20 Banthas per week now. And then, like I said, with the boxes coming in, as soon as those arrive, we'll start shipping the boxed versions. So we're going to continue shipping with those until all orders are fulfilled. I don't want to say every Bantha by June 1st, but we're going to be working at the pace of, like I said, between 10 to 20 per week until everyone gets their Bantha.
Okay, well that's pretty fair. Honestly, you're not always sure, and the Postal Service has been a pain in the butt lately. For example, I ordered something from Show Z the other day that usually it gets to me in 2 weeks. I say the other day, but it's been 2 months and it finally arrived, so why not reveal numbers? I'm just going to go ahead and say this, and again, neutral party, I don't think that it inherently is anybody's business. So yeah, that's why I don't expect Fan Strike Back or anybody to reveal how many they sold or anything like that, because no company that I've ever seen does that. Some person did have a question about the Bantha itself, but doggone it, I'm trying to find it again. It was about the saddlebags and where they're sitting, because it seems like for several people theirs looks like it's sitting over the horn instead of under it. So Kevin, is there something going on here? Was there a difference in when the mold was made, or people just...
No, it's almost laughable. Take your fingers, grab those little saddlebags, lift up, and put them under the horns.
Right.
That's about as simple as it gets, folks. And actually, if you go to the Fan Strikes Back, you will see Rommel did the same thing. He received his. The saddlebags were outside the horns. He said it took all of 5 seconds to grab the saddlebags, lift them up, and slide them underneath the horns. I'm just assuming, and this is just a crazy guess, but I'm 100% sure I'm correct on this. We're putting these together quickly, and probably the lady or guy who's putting the saddles on just didn't think about it because they're probably not Star Wars fans and didn't know any better, to be honest with you. But that's how big of a deal is, folks. You take your fingers, grab the little bag, lift up, slide under, done.
Hold on.
I wish I could say more, but that's it.
All right, so I got a question here. This actually will go to both of you, since one's the creator, one's the businessman who, got this thing going. In a few words, explain why you think... I hope we didn't just lose one of them. Let me check. Oh, God, we didn't. Okay. Explain why you think people should buy your Bantha.
Okay, sure. Kevin, you want to start, or do you want me to?
It don't matter. I mean, I'll start first, since I'm the one who sculpted it. Bottom line, I'm looking at mine on my shelf right now, the original one and the ones that everybody else is getting. I love it. It looks great. It fits in scale. I couldn't be more proud of the way it looks on the shelf. I mean, it's I'm very proud of what I sculpted, and it was a tough sculpt. It took me almost, I don't know how many months it took. I can't remember, but you can watch the videos on YouTube. And everybody, when I went on Michael's show a couple years ago, everybody loved it. And what you're getting, all the parts came from the original mold that I made off of that piece. So I sculpted it. I made it. I'm proud of it. Uh, I don't know what else to say. I mean, if someone else don't like it, you're not going to hurt my feelings. That's your personal choice. I can tell you many other Star Wars toys that I don't care about. Don't mean I'm going to dish Hasbro or dish Kenner back in the day. Just my personal preference. It's like everyone else has their personal preference. But me, I like it. If I made another Bantha, would I try something new? Probably so. I probably would have go more detail. But we was trying to hold back and trying to do more of the Kenner look, which was slightly less detail. And I think we hit the nail on the head, and everybody at the time when we came out with it 2 years ago loved the look. And guess what? The only thing that's actually changed for the look is the tail could not fit in the mold, and I personally cut it and made that one change so it could work. But it didn't change the looks. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at my Bantha, I don't look at its ass. I look at its face and the saddle. So I thought if there's going to be a change anywhere, change it on the butt, not on the face. So, you, Chris.
Yeah, to answer that same question, I'll say that I am eagerly awaiting my Banthas because I backed this project too. At every point early on in the process, whenever things would hit a lag or stall out, and we were a long way away from where we inherited this Bantha to even taking it through to completion. That was a long process. But at every step along the way where I felt like we were kind of hitting a lull and things were dragging, I would take whatever extra money that I had and buy a couple Banthas because I knew that I wanted at least two for me, and then just as a measure to help the project, if I can basically buy ahead of those, then I can resell them later whenever the Bantha is done anyway, as ones that we have in stock. So it made sense to do that. But I haven't received any of my Banthas yet. And I'm publicly on record as stating that I'm not going to get my Bantha before any paying customer. So I don't have one of these in my hands. But I am just as excited to get it as everybody else. And I think that the fact that we kept this Bantha to Kevin's original vision, we did not change the sculpt. I personally love the way that the saddle looks. It's not painted, just like the original Dewback saddle was not painted. It's soft plastic. It's flexible. This Bantha is girthy, but it fits. And that's what we didn't lose in any of this. Is we didn't lose it being a vintage style piece, which is what we always set out to do. And I'm just as excited to get my Bantha as everybody else.
Okay. We have a few questions here, but one person asked, and this is to Kevin, the saddle bag or the saddle on the Bantha, is that an original sculpt you did? Or thank you, Michelangelo. Very cool. Was that original sculpt you did, or is that taken from something else and recast? And I don't think that's meant derogatorily. I think it's just a genuine question.
No, it's a general question. I'll be happy to answer it. No, it was it's the exact duplicate of the Powers of the Force. It was decided at the very onset of the project that the picture that we were going off of, that saddle looked almost, and I'm not saying it is 100% identical, but it was I would say 90% the same. So in this business, don't waste your time reinventing the wheel.
Okay.
If something already exists and it's already in the correct scale that you should be in, and that was, like I said, I didn't have blueprints when I designed this Bantha. We didn't have, legs are this tall, this circumference, from the floor to the top of the head, it was this height. We didn't have none of that. I mean, so I had to look at this one picture. And I had to come up with my own mathematical formula that almost every leg was I can't remember exactly. It's either 5 or 7 Tusken Raider heads tall. That's how I come up with the math. I had to do it the old Egyptian way. I had to figure out like that. So, and the saddle actually coming from the Powers of Force, which was that Powers of Force Bantha, which was very scrawny, but it had all that fur over it, which made it thicker in a sense. it was in scale with 3 3/4 inch figures. So it gave me something to at least be in the ballpark to kind of go by as far as the girth and the width of it. And that's what I did it, and I made it work. That was the reason why. No top secret there. I mean, that's how it always, that's how it was, and that's how it is now. The only change I think I did to it, I add, like a horse's saddle. I can't remember what is it the stirrup that you put your hand? I don't know. I'm not a horse rider, but whatever you put your hands on the front of the saddle, the knob, I added a knob to it.
Okay.
A big change. Woo.
We have a couple other questions here. If I can, why did you decide?
Do we have any? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do we have anybody else coming through verified ones, or are we just taking questions from the chat?
I'm choosing specific ones from chat because nobody else has come in. I mean, I wish
Okay,
I
cool.
did. Real quick, somebody's asking why the choice of the chords, which I'd like you to answer what type of chords they are specifically, because again, I don't have one. What type of chords they are specifically, and why go with that instead of, say, a ball socket or a mushroom peg or whatever.
The way we designed it is the ball socket was out of question because the bantha is not made in two halves, and I did not like that. We tried that in the early prototypes, and I did not like the seam going directly down the center of the face of this thing. I just did not like that. So we went with a spinning. It's spin motion. Gravity. It's done by gravity and high intensity spinning, which makes that whole torso one nice solid little piece. So then we went, and then the reason I chose that because it works. It came out very well. No ugly seam down the center of its face. And two, then that opened up the door to do the number 2 bungee cord, which is the exact same size bungee cord that's used on the Rancor's arms, the Wampa's arms, and also the 12-inch Chewbacca and Darth Vader as well. So that kind of kept it in a pretty decent direction of that what Kenner could have possibly did. But like I said, guys, we didn't have no official blueprints or details to go by. It seemed right, and that's the direction we went with.
Okay, so number 2 bungee.
Like I said, and wheels too. I was under the fire here at the hour to make this work, and when I come up with that solution, we gave it a test run, and it worked. So that's why I went with it.
Okay.
If I had another 6 months of R&D to try 4 or 5 other things, I would love to try it, but did not have that. My job was to ASAP to give the customers the best bantha that I can possibly give them, and that's what I did.
Okay, 2 other questions, and real quick, I want to say this: Michael Gray, 1974. Well, in some cases you have some decent questions. Can you stop being a prick for like 5 seconds? Be really nice. Kind of tired of having to remove your posts. So, a couple of legitimately decent questions. Number 1, well, we're not asking about the factory. Somebody did have a curious question about the molds used. Are they steel molds? Are they silicone? Just if you know it all, which I don't know if you'd even be privy to that. So, do you have an answer for that?
Mr. Kevin?
Yeah, this is to Kevin.
Okay, yeah. No, it is not made out of the metal molds. We was not able to go that route in China, and because no one in America over here does that. And if I did find one, they probably would be even worse cost than China, because China uses that cheap labor deal, and America don't. So.
Okay, so more likely it's a silicone or rubber mold then.
Yes, so I would speculate some for high strength silicone.
Okay, so you haven't actually, I guess, set hands on or
I've not touched them. No, I have not. I mean, I'm all the way down here in the south. So
yeah, we're teetering into minutia questions that we could speculate on.
Okay,
but,
well, the follow up was just out of my curiosity because again, I don't do toy production, and part of this is just me being curious. Another legitimate question here, and we'll have to close in a few minutes here because of my own needs. I got stuff to do. Why with the bantha compared to say other Kenner things like the dewback and other things, why does the saddle have a groove to show its location instead of just sitting naturally over the creature? Was that a creative choice? Was it a choice based on needs of the figure's size? Why was that?
That's just how I ended up sculpting it at the very beginning. Like I said, I had that saddle to go by to understand the keep me in scale, so to speak. And just to be clear, I've been sculpting at that point. Gosh, I've maybe been sculpting nearly 10 years at that point. But I have to say, I've never sculpted a bantha before at that point. So it had crossed my mind, but I never had. So kind of how do you sculpt a bantha? I figured about 5 ways to sculpt the bantha. And guess what? If I try to make more banthas, I could probably figure out 2 or 3 other ways. I mean, it's not. I wish you could say it was easy like the figures, the 3 3/4 inch figures, because this is how those are made. You take an existing figure, you put it in boiling water, pop it apart, send it to take the nail polish remover, remove the paint, send it to the factory. Boom, they do the work. Not a whole lot of talent takes to do that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's listening to this can do so. You know, that's about how simple anybody can take one of these figures apart. But designing the bantha, no, it came from me sculpting out of monster clay. And then when I got in there, and that's just how I made it to where the saddle wouldn't move around. And 2, I ended up deciding after looking at it, I was thought about changing it and making him slick, but I didn't know if it would look right. And 2, who's going to display their bantha without a saddle? I'm not. Saddle kind of is part of the core on it. It makes it look good. You know what I'm saying? So there again, I can make another bantha somewhere down the line and it not have that to where you can see your naked bantha, I guess is what you want, or whatever, how you ever want to pronounce it. But it's just a nitpicky little thing. I mean, I've had a dubak in my house for the last 40 years, ever since ones came out. I've always owned 1 or 3 or 4 of them. None of them I ever put on the shelf ever not had their saddle on it, unless I bought it, and if it didn't have the saddle, I put it in the box because it wasn't complete. So it was just a preference thing. I just didn't change that because I just didn't feel like it was necessary.
Well, actually, and there's something that I just always assumed, and maybe Kevin can clarify this, but when you have a groove for the saddle in that, isn't it less likely that the saddle will then slide to the left and the right when it sits in a groove?
Now, your dubak, you can take that saddle and spin it. It could like be conky and wonky on either side, or left or right. This one sits right in a nice little track and it stays in place. Don't have to worry about that. So there again, you know, take your pick. Be picky. Don't be picky. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but
we're back down to personal choice here. So,
but that's a great example of how everything in this project, someone can see that and say, "Oh, I don't like those grooves when you take the saddle off." But that's a perfect example of everything in this project being done in a forward-thinking way to try and make the project better. And someone can see that and they can hate on it, but is it really that big of a deal, even too, when you're talking about an area of the bantha that you ordinarily do not see, you only see whenever you take the saddle off, and is actually done as an improvement.
All right. Real quick, one question needs to be asked, and I've got to step away for just a moment. I do apologize. Sure. People are asking why the plug instead of the spring trap, and I know that you actually did. I did do a bit of research, and I know, Kevin, you did address that they were getting a plug instead of a trap door, and I know that's what they initially expecting, and probably not everybody saw that video. So while I step away for just a few minutes, please bear with me. I'm not feeling well. Can you give an explanation for why you came to that decision, or why you felt it needed to be done?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
Kevin?
In the original video, which I was on retro blasting, that was at the very early onset of this. I think I had just got done sculpting it just a few weeks earlier, and as far as I knew at that point, I think Michael still has the clip on there. And from what I knew at that moment, and that's all I ever knew, was that the factory was supposed to take a dubak apart and use that mechanism to put it on there, but yet we get funded 2 years later. That company jacks the price up, and we're not using that company, so therefore not happening. Now, I did try this company to try to get figured out to make that work. They could not figure that out. I couldn't figure it out even after tearing the Dubach apart. It just, with the time constraints that I had, it just, and then I left it, boom, it just wasn't going to happen. And then thinking about it, several months later, then I come out with the idea on putting that fur plug up there. It sounded good in my head, so I sculpted it out real quick, put it on there, thought it looked great. And like I said, the sole hardship of actually reaching up there and pulling that out and sticking your figure in versus there being a trap door, the plug will never break. So if we had the trap door and somewhere down the line they started breaking, I mean, people would complain about that. So at least the plug, I have, without a shadow of a doubt, there's no issues down the line of it breaking and not working properly. So that just seemed a better route to go. And like I said, you put it on there and it looks great. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Is I'm a Star Wars fan just like everybody else. I was born back in 1972. I fell in love with Star Wars. So everything that I have done to this Bantha, I've done with the same love that everyone else has here. And I have taken a lot of fiery arrows about it, but I'm here to tell you guys, no one has worked harder on this than me. Bottom line, love me, hate me, but no one has worked harder to get this out for you, the fans. I easily had the opportunity to say the hell with this project and walk away and not care about the fans. No one would have had the right to say to say, Kevin, why did you walk away? They could have said it, but they didn't really have the right to. But I chose to take these fiery arts to do whatever was in my possible power to give a Bantha that someone could enjoy. If I'm guilty of anything, that's what I'm guilty about. And I just would wish and pray that everyone, if you don't want this Bantha, move on. Chris has gave a great option on how to get out of this. If you want your Bantha, get it, and I hope you enjoy it. I really do. And then let's just be a great community once again, folks. I mean, I remember getting in this, become the toy smuggler about 4 years ago and being part of all this. Man, it was such a great community. And I have to say, right now, it just really isn't. And it's a sad state that we're in right now. And I'm just really reaching out to everyone. I'm not here to bash on anybody, even though people bash on me all the time. And I have tried my best to sit back and ignore it. And I will continue doing so. But I'm just reaching out to everyone. Let's take a step in a different direction and try to get along, try to act professional, try to act our age, and just start trying to use your concerns and your voice to help make things go in a better direction. Because all this bickering and fighting and attacking each other, I think we can safely say after 2 years of this, and it all started with these anti-repo people. I can safely say when I made the statement over 2 years ago, wow, the toy community is really going in a bad place. Welcome, we are here. And I have to frankly say that no one is enjoying it. So we all have the opportunity and responsibility here to let's move forward. Let's change how this community looks. Because I'm assuming other communities are looking at us like a bunch of damn idiots. And for one, to me, I hate that. But the only thing I can say is I've here in every project I've ever worked on, I put 200% in it. If you like the products I make, buy it. If you don't, go buy something else. You're not going to hurt my feelings, not one bit. I understand it. So at the end of the day, that's where we're at, guys. Just please, let's get along. I mean, I could make it sit here for an hour and call out people that send me ugly messages. What good would that do? It would just fire these people up to come back, and it's a never-ending cycle. Well, I'm reaching out in good faith to everyone, as I have no hard feelings toward anybody. I love this toy community, but I just want to see it get to be back the way it used to be, and that's my final word.
All right, so I terribly apologize for having to step away, but it sounds to me like I came back right on time. Had to take, was not feeling well, had to step out for a minute. Yeah, it's just, sometimes you eat something and it just does not like you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can tell that he answered at least long and short questions. He talked about the community a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so do we have any other questions that aren't covert nonsense, or nobody, of course, hopped in with an order number, although somebody named a Lost Baldwin says he has 2 Banthas, and they both stand up just fine. If we're going to talk about the negative, it's also honest.
And also, I want to take a minute here to point out the great job that the Retro Blasting moderators are doing in the comment section for trying to keep things on topic.
Yeah, it's been wild. Like, I've never seen. I've seen streams be rated, like legit rating, and it hasn't had to be moderated this badly. But we're actually about to close up here since nobody else has really come forward. And for those of you asking about refunds, the refund policy was actually addressed near the beginning of the stream. If you want to go and listen to that, you're welcome to. That'll cover all of it. So we're going to go ahead now since we have literally nobody else. We're going to go ahead, and we've been at this for how long have we been? I don't have access to that stream deck, so I don't know. But for over an hour now, we've been at this, almost an hour and a half. So we're going to go ahead now and clean this out, and we're going to say good night to everybody, and thank you all for joining, and thank you for the customers calling in, asking questions. But I have one question here real quick for you, Chris, if that's all right. So, and this isn't, unfortunately, the most pleasant question in the world. This isn't a gotcha or anything, but I just have a question about the website real quick. You said on your website now, let's see here, that you bought into one bad review, and you're saying that Michael's review was slanted, biased, and negative after Michael set this up for you. I don't get why you do that.
Well, the implication and the statement that the Bantha is not made in a factory, something that we've always disputed since that it came out. Whenever we've gotten reviews after, which frankly, there was a lot of people that saw that review of the Bantha and they were terrified. But now that we've gotten Banthas into more hands, and those people who've said, I saw that and I was really worried. But now I take major issue with that because my Bantha is great. The things that were said in there, that's not happening with my Bantha. I don't know if it was misconstrued or what, but I take issue with that. And our statement is, well, we understand that because that also matches up with the reviews that we got prior to that, which is that the customers who've got it love it. And we now feel like that is an example. It's someone's opinion and they're right to that, but we feel like it is an outlier in regards to all of the reviews. We thank Michael for his opinion. We thank Michael and Retro Blasting for having us on. This was a great event. We were happy to do it, and we respect his opinion, but we also respect the opinions of the others.
All right, I'll go ahead and stay right now with personal value. I've been neutral so far in all this. I will say, as a personal point of value, I do disavow in terms of stating that Michael's review was biased and all that. That's my personal value here, but I want to also address the chat. I know where it was made because Mr. Krahn has told me it was made in a factory. That is actually true. And I'm not in the habit of lying in general, and I'm certainly not in the habit of lying for somebody concerning a product I have no personal investment in. So he's actually being truthful there. So can I ask you to please stop harping on it? It was made in a factory. Michael initially asked and wondered if it was actually. It was. I verified that myself. So we're going to go ahead now and close this out, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Krahn and Mr. Sexton. And I guess we'll
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I apologize for some of the way the stream went in terms of comments. We're doing the best we can, as quick as we can, and sometimes things get delayed. And I hope you both